Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining my class, and today we are going to discuss about safety orientation. Safety orientation is basically the part of training program, and the purpose of this safety orientation is to make you familiar with the work system, with company policies, standards, rules, regulations that you perform work on site in a safe manner. Safety guys can utilize this presentation as a basic safety. Let's start. Introduction. I just keep this slide as a blank. uh, you can put here your company introduction, or you can put here the project scope, but it should be short, not in detail. Project overview, you can put here the company project overview, map, or anything else. Emergency number, it is very important to mention the emergency number in first slides of the orientation. So where in case of emergency, you have to ask your worker to save emergency number in their mobile phone, or they have to note down in the diaries. So that number should be unique. In some companies I have seen there is a ECC, emergency control center. So there is only unique number that people cannot be confused in case of emergencies. Hazard. Hazard can be defined in number of ways, but here a simplest definition is given. Anything, object which has the potential to harm the person, we call as a hazard. So you can find hazard, number of hazards on site, uh, but the concept should be clear. And if you want to enhance your skills, you have to visit the workplace, or you whenever you are going to site, you can identify the hazards. So anything, object. So object here, it could be a physical object, it could be a chemical object, it could be a biological object, or it could be a physiological. So these are the type of hazards: physical, chemical, biological, physiological. Job safety analysis. Whenever you have been given a job, it should be analyzed in safety point of view. For example, if we have to construct a building, so from starting point, from excavation until the completion, until the building is furnished, what hazards we face and what will be their control measures. So we compile all this document and we put these hazard control measures in one document. We make one document that is called the JSA. So JSA, here I have shown you, JSA shall be approved from client and should always be available on site. So it comprises of 5 steps. What are those? First of all, we have to identify a critical job. When we have a critical job, then we will move towards the second step, that is break the job into basic steps. These are our steps in this column. And third step, what we have to do, we have to identify hazards against each step. So hazards are being identified in this step, you can see. And fourth one, we have to put the control measures, put suitable control measures. And at last, what we have to do, we have to review, we have to get approval, and we have to implement the JSA on site. Work permit system. Basically, work permit system and JSA, they are the part of safe system of work. So work permit system can be defined as is a formal or written document that is used to control certain type of high risk activities, hazardous activities, non-routine activities. PTW should be issued for every job before start of work. Guys, remember, without work permit, you cannot start your activity. If you start, what will happen? There will be client, when client come to your site, he will stop your job immediately. Or if the accident happen, the first thing the client, or the incident commander, they will check this work permit system, either work permit was issued or not. So remember, you have to take the permit before start of job. So how many types of permit? Cold work permit, blue in color, and cold work permit is issued where there is no source of ignition, like scaffolding work, painting work. Hot work permit, red in color, it can be issued for hot work activities like welding, cutting, grinding, means where there is a source of ignition involved or there is a chance of fire. Confined space entry permit is green in color, and it is used when we have a work inside confined spaces, like work like if we have a excavation, deeper than 1.2 meter, we use confined space entry permit. Personal protective equipment, this is also very important for safety orientation. So PPE shall be used as per NC standard, American National Standard Institute, and PPEs, always considered as a last resort. So the mandatory PPE shall always be worn, includes helmet, goggle, safety shoes, reflective vest. These are the mandatory PPEs, and additional PPE depend upon your work requirement. If your work is near generator, noisy area, you have to wear earplugs like this. Scaffolding or work at height. So whenever we are working above 1.8 meter in height, someone is working above 1.8 meter height, he has to follow the work at height procedure. So in work at height procedure, we have to arrange ladder, proper ladder, step ladders, or we can say the personal fall arrest system, full body harness, lanyard, whatever. So but here I will just focus on scaffolding because at my side we have a scaffolding work. As we already defined that if someone is working above 1.8 meter, he has to follow the work at height procedure or PFAS, personal fall arrest system. Before access scaffolding platform, check the scaffolding tags. This is scaffolding and this is access. You have to find the tag here, and this is everyone's responsibility. Before going to start work on scaffolding, he has to check the tag. And what are the tags? If you find the red tag, on red tag no one is allowed to work, only scaffolders are allowed. So even the manager, project manager, no one is allowed. So on red tag only scaffolder while they are doing work, while they are erecting scaffolding or dismantling or any kind of alteration if they are doing, they have to they can work on the red tag scaffolding, and they have to wear the full body harness. On yellow tag scaffolding, what you have to do, you have to wear a full body harness. It means scaffolding is not complete, something is missing in scaffolding. So when something is missing, the scaffolding inspector, he will put a yellow tag on that scaffolding. And while you are performing any work on that scaffolding, you have to wear a full body harness that should be 100% tie off. When you find a green tag scaffolding, you can perform work no problem without any full body harness, it is not needed. And green tag, it means the scaffolding is complete and it is safe to use. Confined space. Confined space defined in many ways. A space which is not designed for human occupancy is very clear that that space is not designed for the human occupancy. Space excavations which are deeper than 1.2 meter, 4 feet in depth, is also called as a confined space. A space which has limited access or egress, it is very difficult to go inside and is very difficult to come outside, is also considered as a confined space. A space which contain hazardous atmosphere is also called as a confined space. Confined space minimum requirement, guys, keep in your mind that whenever you are performing work inside confined space, you have to keep certain things in your mind, like there should be a confined space entry permit, there should be a trained and competent standby man outside of that space, and gas testing before entry. So authorized gas tester will come to site, he will check the gases. If the gases are under control, under limit, then he will permit you to perform the work inside confined space. Basic safety rules: immediately report any work related injury, illness to your supervisor. Immediately report unsafe conditions, practices, near misses to your supervisor. Smoking is strictly prohibited on site, but you can smoke in designated areas only. And this is a designated area. You can see this is a fire cylinder is placed, ashtray is inside the smoking shelter, and you have to mention here either this is a smoking shelter or rest shelter. So rest shelters should be separate from the smoking shelters. Horseplay and fighting is strictly prohibited. At your project or in my project, we have different nationalities. If someone misbehave or something wrong, you have to inform to your manager or safety guys. Use only proper tools and equipment in safe working condition. Do not use substandard tools, hand tools, power tools, and electrical wires should be free from splices, any kind of defect. Safety guard shall be in place in all rotated parts of the machine. Maintain good housekeeping in all areas all the time, because housekeeping reduces 80% of the hazards from the site, like slip, trip, fall can reduce. Electrical safety, it is very important. Our electrical items, our electrical equipments, our equipments, they should be certified from these bodies, certified bodies like FM, Factory Mutual, UL, Underwriter Laboratories. Kima Cure is a new standard that is replaced by CE, European Conformity. So your extension, your cord or any equipment, either it is certified by FM, you can utilize it on site, either it is certified by UL, you can utilize it, no problem. Extension and cords, do not overload a circuit by connecting too many devices. If you connect too many devices, what will happen? It will create a fire. So avoid these things. All extension cords should be fitted with GFCI. This is very important. You have to check, you have to ask your authorized electrician, or if you are experienced, you can check GFCIs are fitted in extensions, cords or circuit breakers. So GFCI basically ground fault circuit interrupter. So this ground fault circuit interrupter, uh, it basically protect the human. So when there is a leakage of current, it protect the human. So basically these ground fault circuit interrupter, they are set on 5 milliampere. So when there is a current leakage, they automatically switch off that device, and you will see the person can be protected. Monthly color codes for inspection, you have to remember this: green, red, blue, yellow. So we are using these 4 colors in 4 months, and after every 4 months we are repeating the same. Emergency response, we discussed the emergency number, but regarding emergency response, emergency is an unexpected and dangerous situation which require your reply, your output, uh, but it should be a quick response, a quick output or reply when there is an emergency. So in case of fire emergency, when you hear the sound of alarm, what you have to do, you have to evacuate from. If you are working in the camp, if you are working in office areas or working on site, you just have to stop your work and you have to report to assembly point. Biological hazards, we are working in remote areas. If your company is working in remote areas, you have to consider the biological hazards. So what precautions? Do not walk, rest, work in dark places or under bushes. Never talk or walk alone in dark place. Lonely work is strictly prohibited. Always check PPE, especially safety shoes, long gum shoes, before wearing them. See guys, this is very important. The third one, you can see these snakes inside your safety shoes. You can see these in gum boots or safety shoes or a scorpion you can see. So always check them before wearing. On-site welfare facilities, you don't have to be worried, because we have a clinic set up, we have ambulances. If any problem, if any emergency happen on site related to medical or fire, we can mobilize these ambulances. We can contact, we can visit clinic on regular basis. If someone is not feeling well or someone have a minor or major injury, they have to report to they have to get treatment from the doctor is available in the clinic. Thank you so much. If you have any question, comment or advice, you can write in the comment box, or if you want this presentation, you can also write your emails in the comment box. Thank you.